Okay, so today I'm going to draw a cat for you guys. It's my first video for YouTube. And I think I'll draw a warrior cat because that seems what is really popular right now. So I guess we'll draw Scourge. Yeah, he's a good cat to draw. Okay, first I have a circle. It's a basic layout for the head. Gonna want to do this as if this is gonna be like a side view of his head. So bring it down. This would be the nose and where the mouth is. Kind of darken in where the line will be, and then just to sort of guess where his ear will be, we'll put this in there. So his ear's going forward. And then this is the other ear. The ears look a little weird right now, but they'll be better in a minute. Okay. So, and then I'm going to bring his neck down a little bit. Then we'll flow into the chest. So it's one line, just sort of flows in. Come down into the paw. And then back up. Scourge is a smaller cat, as you know, but I like to think that even though he's small, he's very muscular and strong. Show a little bump for the shoulder, but not much. Come down and along his back. This line is going to change 1,000 times on his back and near his rump area. So we try and find the way we want it to go. Let me come back for his belly. And then into his back leg. Sort of a Z shape. You don't want to have the hawk too high. Some people have it really high when they draw. I mean, if that's their style, that's great, but sometimes people think that that's where it's supposed to be, but it's actually supposed to be much lower, depending on the body you want to draw. Now, if it's an oriental, then it'll probably be kind of high, but for Scourge, we're just going to have it further down. Because I picture him as more like a just simple domestic or American short hair, whichever one you want to call it. So, I'm going to do his other front leg. This will be the front of the leg, then the paw. I'm not going to see as much of it because it'd be turned out the other way a little bit. So it's going to be slightly shorter in the front there. And bring it up. And just to get an idea of it, where the tail will be, we'll do this little thing there. And for the back legs. Or back leg, I should say. Other back leg. Again, sort of shorter on the toes as if it would be turned away. Then follow up. And there. And there we go. So I'm gonna darken in the lines because I'm guessing it might be a little hard to see in some places. Okay, now I'm gonna clean up my lines a bit so we can see what else we have to work with. My voice sounds pretty weird when it's recorded, so I apologize for that. Plus my camera isn't exactly very good, and sure, it's hard to see stuff, and it's probably a little off on the drawing, but this is my first video, so we'll hope it goes sort of okay. Okay, erasing takes a long time. Now, when you erase things, you don't always have to think of the eraser as just a way to get rid of something. Use your eraser as a tool. So when you sketch things out, you can use it as a tool. You can use it to shade with. I'll show you an example of that in a minute. Okay, back to his head. Start putting in a little bit more detail here on his head. Okay, so we have his forehead right here. I'm going to come down and make a little triangle, sort of, yeah, triangle there. And then we'll give him sort of a smile almost. Or maybe not. That looks a little weird. We'll have him with his mouth open instead. There we go. That's better. Okay. Now we have his mouth open. We'll come back, up, do a little chin there for him. Then it sort of just blends down into the neck and then down into the chest. One smooth movement. There. Now a little line just to show where the side of his nose would be. And then we'll do this, his eye, sort of realistic, but sort of cartoony as well. So, it's kind of a small eye, but that's okay. Now, like what I was saying with using your eraser as a tool, when you make an eye shine, for an example, just erase across the pupil, and then you can go back and fix it a little bit if you have to. But that way, when you do the pupil, it's a smoother line. It looks a little faded, like a light shine would be. And when people ink their drawings, sometimes I see that they actually ink the dot for the eye shine, and I feel like if you're like inking a black line for a white bit of light, I feel like that doesn't work very well. It looks funny. It's like there's a white dot in the middle of your eye. Okay. But I don't know. If that's your style, that's awesome. I believe with art that it shouldn't really matter what you do. It's up to what you like. So, for all those people out there that get bullied or hear people talk about their art in a bad way, it's like just ignore them, because you know what? The likelihood of them being able to do it is probably do what you do is probably slim, and even so, it's your art. You can do what you feel like, because you're the one doing it. There we have his ears, so they're pointed forward. Have a little bit of fur in his ear. Erase there so I can give him a little bit of fuzz on the head. I like to draw a little bit of hair, or bangs, whatever you want to call it. I just think it looks kind of cool. And then for his collar, we're going to just do a quick outline of where it will be. Now, I see most people, when they draw collars, and they have it so the collar is like a bump on either side so you can sort of see the collar wrapping around, but if you look at a cat and where its collar is, usually the fur comes out a bit from where it is. The top, maybe there's a little bit of fuzz on the top of it. And then a little bit there. And it's more of a smoother line on the bottom too, because the fur coming out from underneath the collar will be pressed down a bit. And there we go. Now, if I'm correct, the teeth in his collar are from his enemies. I've heard from some people that they're also claws from his enemies too. I'm not really sure. But if we're going to go a little bit realistic, maybe we'll have a little bit of a bigger one for Dogtooth, a tiny one for maybe a cat tooth if he takes from cats too. Or have him in there. Maybe we'll have one going up this way a little bit. I would do like a little buckle on here to show how it would work that way, but I don't want to make this video too long. It's already going to be really long, so if you're still watching this, thank you very much. Okay, erase the little construction lines in there. Okay, there. Now we go down to his paws. Now, it's been a while since I've read the first series. God, that was my freshman year in high school. But his paws are dog teeth, like sharpened dog teeth over his claws. Correct me if I'm wrong. Kind of throws me off a little bit to draw them like this. And he's standing because cats usually don't have their claws showing when they're just standing. So it's kind of weird if you understand what I mean. I don't know. I'm sure the people watching this video are probably smarter than me, so they probably know a little more than I do. Okay, we'll show a little detail. And there, his shoulder, his upper body looks a little weird. This isn't exactly how I draw it all the time. It's just kind of hard to do with the camera I've got. And then we'll come back some more. Trying to show the curve of his body. Now, I see most people when they draw, they'll show the whole leg like this when they draw it, perhaps. But if you look at an actual cat's body, you don't really see like a defined line. It's sort of mainly put in by shadows and how it looks. So I usually just draw a little line here, and the same goes for the hip too. It does not continue up like this. It sort of blends in with the body. So up here would be the shoulder. This would be like, if down here, this would be like a human hand and the wrist. This would be like your forearm. And this would be the top part of your arm. And then it would connect into the shoulder, which is up here. If that makes any sense to you guys. I hope I explained that all right. Okay, now the other one. Let's fix some lines here for a minute. We're only going to see a little bit of this toe, a little bit of the claws. Then we'll have a little dew claw right in here. I don't know if he has those reinforcements on his dew claws or not. I mean, I don't understand how they're even on his claws anyway. Like, how do you put a tooth on your claw? But, I don't know. It's a book. They're little characters. So we'll just go with a regular size dew claw, I guess. More regular size. That's still pretty big. Clean up the lines a little bit. I like to clean up the lines as I go. That's just my process I've developed over the years. I have a little bit of fuzz where his belly is. Little mark to show his belly, I guess. Show the chest too. We'll go back and fix that right there. And now we'll come to his leg. I like to take out lines sometimes, and when I'm doing the detail, I'll make it a little bit more like fur, perhaps. Come down, here's his other paw. Okay. These paws are rather quite cartoony. My cats, when I draw them anatomically correct as much as I can, and they do have 4 toes on each paw. It's just, I try to make it so how it would usually be. I don't know, does he have big claws in the back? I don't think so. Alright. But I try and make it so that you only see the 3 toes, and like the other one would be where you can't see it. If you look at a picture of a cat's paw from the side. Come down, do a little fuzz on the hawk, do a little line there to show it. There's a tendon in here, a very large, strong tendon. Want to show the joint off. Little detail line in there. Oop, my pencil case just fell. If you even heard that noise. Okay, we'll clean up the lines of the other leg. Show a little bit of a toe there. Bring it back. Most people like to make the base of a tail really thin. They like to make it thinner than the end of the tail, but in real life, the base of the tail is actually thicker, and it usually tapers off a little bit, at least for short-haired cats. Long-haired cats can be different, of course, but often enough, the base of the tail is thicker. Okay, just clean up my lines a little bit, and I think that's all for today. It's probably going to take 1,000 years to load this video, because it's probably exceedingly long. And we'll just show where the colors would be for him. He only has one white paw. I mean, I've seen people draw him with a little white in his nose, maybe a little white in his tail, but I try and go with what I first learned was that he was a black cat with just one white paw and a purple collar. But I'll ink him in the next video, and then we'll color him in the 3rd video. But for now, this is it. Okay, hope you enjoyed it, and goodbye. Comment if you want. I would like that.